Hey everyone, and welcome to Game Like Training Radio, where we talk about how to learn, how to train, how to perform at your best. I am one of the hosts, Cordie Walker, and previously it was me and Matt.
That's right.
And there is a third edition.
I'm Ian, and I don't know if you guys know, but I recently wrote a book.
Really?
Have you read it?
Never heard of it.
Cordie, I think I sent it to you. Have you
don't think I opened that one.
You didn't open it?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay.
There's just a bin where I toss some packages.
Oh my God. Okay, well, not to worry. I'm sure we don't need to speak about my book.
This is the Game Like Training office. I've never seen your book.
Yeah. I've seen the Game Like Training, Matt's book, but I don't think I've seen it.
Oh, you wrote a book?
Golfers, yeah. Like that. It's on the wall.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, perfect.
I never knew you wrote a book.
Anyway.
This is a bit of a infomercial so far, guys.
Okay, I promise not to speak about my book, OSVEA, Practical Ways to Improve Your Mental Game Ever Again.
Okay.
For the next 2 minutes.
Okay. Anyways, we thought that we would come back and talk about what's up. We had an amazing second season that Matt and I worked on, which was in 2017. It was just this incredible lineup of coaches and researchers, and in fact, we saw quite a few of those folks at the Youth and Family Teaching Summit. Was that at the PGA show this year? Yeah, I think it was on Sunday
at the PGA show.
Yeah, there was a lot of those folks appearing there. So it's good that this concept of better learning, better training.
A lot of them, or all of them, like the exact same line.
Pretty much all of them. But I mean, that's a good thing, right?
It's a great thing. It means that learning and training is becoming more top of mind for coaches and for the PGA, which is what we all want.
Absolutely, I'd agree with that for sure.
Yeah, I think who was the first one? Trev Reagan. Trev was one of the first on the
podcast. He was one of the first on the podcast.
Talking about growth mindset. Dr. Richard Bailey, David Sherwood, Tim Lee.
Yep.
I mean, these just experts and pioneers in research and learning, motor learning. To be honest, it's quite refreshing to see, because I remember when I was that PGA pro, going through the training, and I'm learning so much about the science of the golf swing and technical aspects of setup, fundamentals, posture, grip, and when I was in my PGA, a lot of the biomechanics stuff was coming up, and I wasn't really exposed to any of this, so it really is refreshing.
Yeah,
I think.
So, something that was really interesting for me was I was at the Proponent Group Summit this year. I think it's around November time. It was hosted in Florida. And
Did you take your book? Sorry.
I think I sold a couple actually. Yeah. Cameron McCormack was there, and it was a open panel discussion, and Cameron started talking, and he said the first thing that he did when he became a PGA qualified pro was reach out to Dr. Paul Shemp.
Yeah.
And he said, and he hassled him and he bugged him, and Dr. Shemp started to teach him what was important if you want to be an exceptional coach. Yeah,
like we go into all of the science of learning and making or helping golfers get better and improve skills, and this, from the motor learning aspect and the psychology part of it, and it's all geared towards golfers and players. But then if you look at Dr. Shemp, he's doing all of the same stuff, but going straight for the coach.
Yeah.
Like we're trying to help golfers become experts at golf. He's helping coaches become experts at coaching.
Absolutely.
That was actually an awesome episode, I think.
It's cool to know that, Cameron McCormack followed this process.
Yeah, for sure.
And look at what he's doing now.
Top coaches of the game.
I've heard people criticise Cameron McCormack, and to me that's just laughable. I've seen him speak. He's extremely articulate.
Speaks very well.
Very well. We watch him coach, and he takes a very holistic view. I don't buy into that concept that, Jordan Spieth was going to be great anyway. Yeah, Jordan Spieth definitely has qualities that help him, but Cameron McCormack definitely played a part in that journey of guiding those qualities to come out.
For sure. And now look, he's doing, what's the show called? Even the Golf Channel now, it feels like there's this shift in culture in golf. Putting a show on that's all about developing skill. I mean, it never used to be that. It was, the drill show basically. But now it's really cool. And I like to guys like Sean Foley. Sean Foley's now talking on the Golf Channel, right?
Yeah.
In some other show. And I remember, what was it, maybe 5-6 years ago that me and you saw Foley on a YouTube channel.
Longer than that. I think it was longer than that.
And he was talking
we came
about...
to America like...
maybe 8 years ago.
Yeah, about 7, 8, maybe even 9 years ago we saw it.
And
you bought the DVD for like $250.
No, the DVD was like 20, but customs was like 150. He paid for it as well. But no, and Foley was talking a while ago about similar concepts, modelling a lot of the neuroscience, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Myelination. He was big on. He was the first one really to put something out there, and I read it in the paper one time about Justin Rose and Sean Foley's relationship, and Foley was in the world of myelination and all that process.
So actually, my dad
was coming to fruition.
My dad cut that article out of the Daily Telegraph because we used to speak about it a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily think my dad bought into what I was saying, and then all of a sudden Sean Foley's in the paper talking about it. So it's no accident that these top coaches are where they're at. Martin Hall, when he spoke at the Proponent Group.
Yeah, right before.
Unbelievable. Talked about books that he's read, how he practiced to be on camera. None of this stuff, whether you're an elite player, an elite coach, an elite businessman, it doesn't happen by accident. Personally, I don't believe in the concept of luck to the extent that maybe some people do.
But, I think that some people just have that natural gift.
I don't get it. Anyways.
Explain.
There's this innate... No, I'm not even going to... I can't even take myself down that road. There is no such thing as natural gifts. But I just wanted to...
Did we just talk too much there? Did we just kind of cut Cordie out of the show?
It's
well, since I can barely get a word in,
I thought it was a Matt and Ian show.
Perfectly into...
My book.
Your book. Anyways, I was down here in Atlanta, which you guys were at. We were out this morning at the course. We did this wedge fitting thing that we're working on, which I'm sure let's talk more about. And we were talking about the podcast. So the last 2 seasons, Matt and I did a bunch of interviews, which are awesome. And it's kind of this resource now that people should go back to because it's such solid, timeless info from a lot of those guys focused around this topic. And I know when I talk to a lot of you or in India, you say like, oh yeah, that one interview with that one person kind of set me down a path or whatever it is. So I encourage you guys to go back. But you guys are going to start shifting the show. Since it's hard to get a word in with these two, I'm just going to let them talk without me because obviously I'm not needed here. So that's going to be, you guys are going to run some new shows and hopefully continue the tradition of helping people understand better training and better learning and better performance now that Ian's on here with his perspective of mental coaching.
And his book.
And his book.
I think, firstly, what we connected years ago, Golf in the Life of. You reached out to me and you asked me to talk a little bit about OSVEA, which you'd seen.
Yeah.
The response I got from that was incredible. And, that's down to you and you wanting to get this information out. So first of all, we're very grateful to people like yourself, groups like the Proponent Group and institutions like the PGA. People have helped us so much have a voice and put stuff out there. And now that our message is being listened to, we would love the opportunity to, I guess, take the baton from you with a Golf Science Lab and Game Like Training Radio and give other people that voice. So it's great. We talked about Cameron McCormack, we talked about Sean Foley. Great if we can have those guys on. It would be awesome.
Hopefully one day.
Also, what would be awesome is if we can have a coach on that was in a position that I was in 4 years ago. Like, no one knew my philosophy, no one knew who I was. You did Golf in the Life of, and I don't know how many people listened to it, but the emails I got and things like that were mind-blowing, and it gave me confidence to put the message out there. So now we really want to invite people on. If you've got a message that you think the golf industry should hear, and you're passionate about coaching, and you're passionate about helping people and helping the game of golf, let's listen and let's put the message out there.
That's big goal for the show.
Yeah.
We've tried to do our very best in getting some really smart people, way smarter than we are,
Yeah,
to talk. And
for sure.
now we've got a good solid platform and a good solid understanding of things. Now we can continue the show and keep bringing on these people and other coaches that have a strong message, and give everyone else a place to use their own voice. So it's going to be a fun project.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because I think when you have the boldness to step out and share something, right? Like a lot of people would have seen OSVEA and where you're at with that and been like, this is my private information. You know, like I need to keep this right here and not tell anyone. And you stepped out and shared that. And obviously a lot of instructors paid attention to that and were interested in, hey, here's something cool, you know, that Ian did. And
yeah, it was funny. I'm saying this in all seriousness now. Before I wrote my book,
What's it called again?
I'm trying to be serious with this one. OSVEA. After the show, the people that came in, the PDF that I'd produced, which was the base for it, anyone who asked for it, I gave it to them for free. I spoke to James Pond literally this morning. We talked about this earlier, and he said, man, I had an original copy of your manual, PDF, 58 pages, whatever it was. I was like, oh, dude, please let me send you that was such a brain dump, and please let me send you a copy. But again, just think about the chain of events. If you didn't have me on Golf in the Life Of, would I have had the confidence to go and invest a few $1,000s in publishing? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe I'd still be procrastinating over it, or, you know. And there's a great book written by Napoleon Hill that's called Outwitting the Devil. And you can actually listen to it on YouTube. It's between 3 and 5 hours long, whichever version you take. And Napoleon Hill, when he wrote this book in the 1920s, he was around about the Prohibition era, they thought he was insane. His family tried to get this book blocked, not be released. And now if you read this book, it's modern day psychology. And this book talks about, if you are going to put information out there, you have to have what's called a daemon. And a daemon is apparently like this little angel that sits on your shoulder and gives you an immunity from the negative voices that you're going to hear, and just allows you to keep focusing on your journey. So my point is, people like yourself who want to get this content out there and give people like me an opportunity to put things out there, almost help you build that daemon. Because there's people out there that think what I do is awful. And I've seen it on the social media, and I've engaged with them and I've asked more questions and I've been polite. But to have people also email me and say, wow, this stuff's great, we really believe in it, was a big thing. So I can't wait to help other people have that opportunity. Yep.
And so the shift is you guys are going to kind of talk about these things, and we're going to try a new format. I'm going to sit off in the distance and occasionally pop in and then listen in.
Just make sure that we're doing you justice.
Just to make sure it's not complete crap. We just got to do some testing.
Like the dad who watches his son play the last 4 holes of golf, just so he knows.
just so he knows and can really give him a hard time.
But really he's watching all 18 holes from the trees. Like that. I get it.
Do you like those kind of parents? Are those your favorite to work with?
I've seen that quite often, and you just look a little weird. You know, just like some random person over in the trees. It looks a little weird. I wouldn't advise doing that.
You've been that guy many a time.
Not anymore.
The weird guy who hides in the trees.
Just want to watch the golfer, that's all. Just want to watch how it plays out.
Yep. No, so I'm excited for this. I'm here at the offices for Game Like Training, and these guys are trying to do something really big and ambitious, and it's exciting to be here and talk to them and hear about that and kind of help them get the message out what I can. And so I'm excited to see where this takes us and see what you guys can conjure up.
So what would be your advice for us, Cordie? We're going to take the reins. We're hosting our podcast show. Matthew's done a few. He's improving. Me, I don't know. Jury's still out on that one. We'll find out.
Depends how much you plug your book, to be honest.
Give us some advice.
Give you some advice. I think that the best advice is that you can never over edit. And that might sound weird of like, doesn't everyone want authenticity, or don't they want like just the raw? But the reality is, if you can give people the most concise, the most focused piece of content, or the most focused topical info that you can, you're always going to win long term if you can focus in on that one topic or that one insight for folks versus giving them the whole slew, because that'll be memorable. And I think that has come back, because people will come to me and mention one episode or one story or one guest, and it's always really interesting that a lot of those times those were like the most focused shows, or the most like honed in thing that was really on one thing. It was edited and it was like, this is the one thing that we're talking about in this show.
What show is that for you? Which one do people come up to you and say?
The first Tim Lee episode that I ever did on the Golf Science Lab. It might have been the first episode ever.
Tim's a good speaker.
Tim's a great speaker, and it was just around this very basic idea of learning and blocked and random practice, and it was just very simple, very basic, and that show gets brought up a lot. And the show on golf shafts, where it's just about very basic elements of like flex and weight and length, just like explaining those variables and what they do.
Like you said, very drilled down.
Yeah.
Just here's the important elements.
Well, I think that in golf is that we assume that we all know everything. So if you came to me at a term of like MOI of a putter, I'd be like, oh yeah, absolutely, I know what that does. You know, like that's, I've got that. Or you came with a term of like another term, and it's like, I have no idea, right? A lot of times, like that's why I did some of the club ones, like club tech, because I didn't know anything. I didn't know what flex meant or weight, or like I didn't know what it meant, and I am somewhat educated. So how many other people are out there that don't know the basic terms? So I think the more you can break things down simply so that we all have the same foundation and the same groundwork before moving forward is really important. I think as a whole, we skip ahead and assume knowledge really frequently, which is hazardous for us all.
And I'm going to assume that a lot of people come up to you and talk about the episode where I talked about OSVEA in my book. No?
You know what we just got? We just understood that we need to hone in, drill down, edit, take out all of the
pretty
noise.
Much drilling down on one topic here, guys.
Yeah. So,
throw me a bone.
So that, all of the 57 slots of your book and plugins in the book, so it needs to be drilled to just one. So no matter how many times you say it, it's just going to pop up. Like Ben's going to make the book pop up here, Ben.
Also, what Cordie kind of said was it's about editing. So if we completely flop, taking over Cordie's podcast, it's kind of Ben's fault, because he's going to be the one doing the editing. That's
hashtag blame it on Ben.
Yeah.
That should go.
Or if you see all your episodes trimmed back to a minute, you might know that I've downloaded them and then just edited it. I pick that minute and then just put that in there.
Or I'm here with Matthew, and then that's it.
I
thought I was there.
Yeah. Oh boy. No, this will be fun. First episode next week.
Yes.
We'll see what you have in store then. Other than that, I'll check back in and we'll figure out some good guests to bring back on, because there are some that we need to revisit that had more research come out that we talked about with them off after we finished recording. So we need to bring some people back on to hear about what they've been up to since then. And this will be good. Next week.
If you could have anyone on.
Asking me.
But all three of us. I'm trying to think right now. If I could have anyone, who would it be?
Honestly, I think Anders Ericsson. We had him on.
He was
last
a great
year.
one.
Well, like he wrote that book, Peak, which I think is the best book on learning, and maybe even performance. Just like it's just such a good book and explained it really simply in my mind that I recommend it to everybody. And I think he's like the forefather of this field. Honestly, I would just sit down with him for a whole series of shows would be.
Because he's got so much to give.
Yeah.
So much that he can share that would be good to hear from him, because he puts it in a pretty good way when he's talking, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I think you read it all in his book, but when it seems to be him just talking, he really gives you what he believes to be that most focused, important thing. Yeah. So.
Well, the second one would be Malcolm Gladwell, where he bashed golfing in his episode. Did you ever hear that?
I saw him and
Kyle.
Yes.
I saw those.
He'd be a good one.
Gladwell and they had a debate, didn't they? Coyne and Gladwell had a debate. You can watch it on YouTube.
This is Malcolm Gladwell was tearing apart golf because of the tax breaks that golf courses get. and he was looking at like Bel Air Country Club or something in LA. And
Really?
Malcolm Gladwell needs to let's have a chat about golf. What it's
He's
doing.
smart though, guy. Like he has some great.
Fantastic.
The book, The Outliers.
Yeah.
I mean, they bash Ericsson a bit, which I don't like, because Ericsson's pretty much a legend in our eyes.
Well, he wrote a follow-up to that book. Did you ever read that research? So he wrote a paper in response to
I
saw that.
Yeah. Just to reply, which is awesome.
Just myth busting, basically. They took the 10,000 hours and just said it was 10,000 because it was a cool number. Marketing.
No, I love that when a researcher has the guts to fire back. Like, how cool is that? Cool. Right.
So,
that's amazing.
Are you piggybacking on Cordie's answer, or are you
is it Coyne? Daniel Coyle?
Yeah, I think
Daniel
so.
Coyne? Talent Coyle?
Yeah.
I think it would be cool to have him on. I'm going to go with that one for now. I might change my mind in a little bit.
There's an interesting guy who wrote a book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a...
Yeah.
Have you read that?
I haven't. I've seen it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's good?
It's one of the best books I've ever read. Smart, because you can see how it's going to get sales, but it flips the model on its head. It is... I was so pumped after reading that book. I really enjoyed that. I can't remember his name, so...
Is it Mark... let's find out.
I have the picture of it on my
Pause
Instagram.
for Ian.
I've seen it.
I have the picture of it on my Instagram, _Ian Hyphy.
Should be plugging GLT.
I'll flip
is
from
he
the...
promo guy?
I'll flip
over
from
here?
I'll flip from the Game Like Training Instagram, which is @GL Training Golf, and I'm just going to mine, which is @Ian Hyphy. Mark Manson.
Yes.
Mark Manson.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. We should try and get him on.
There you go.
What about you?
He answered.
He's going to say Malcolm Gladwell.
No, Anders Ericsson
and Gladwell.
And Gladwell.
Are you editing me out already? I was going to say, did you guys know David Goggins?
No.
Ultramarathon man, ultramarathon runner, was in the Navy SEALs, holds the world record for most pull-ups in a day.
How many?
4,000 and something in 21 hours or 20 hours. There's a YouTube channel called Inspire Me or something like that, and I've been watching them, and this guy pops up a lot, and the way he talks, like, very motivational but very direct. And he talks and he says, like, so many people read these books, but no one actions anything. Like,
is he the YouTube thing that you showed me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember now.
And I like him because he swears and he's just direct. He doesn't care what anyone thinks. He just, this is my message and go. But the interesting thing about him was, I think he was told that he couldn't make it to Navy SEAL grade because of the colour of his skin, and he didn't listen, so he pushed through that adversity. And then the other thing that was interesting was he hates running. And he's an ultramarathon guy because he wanted to prove something to himself, which to me is unbelievable, super interesting.
Yeah.
And then I think, of course, Conor McGregor.
Oh yeah,
love that guy, man.
There you go.
Cameraman's happy.
There you go.
Blame it on Ben's happy.
I had a podcast series idea in the car the other day. Let me run this by you. So find all of the strangest stats in the PGA Tour, like the strangest records that are held, like. I saw one, was it most putts, like Gary Woodland hasn't missed a putt under 9 feet. He's made like 500 in a row or something like that. Did you see, there's a stat
under 9 feet?
Or no, it's 5 feet or something.
9 would be, can you imagine?
No, it can't be 9. It's got to be 5 feet.
Yeah.
There's some crazy, like a crazy stat, right? Like find crazy stats and then talk to the people that have those crazy stats and just kind of ask questions around those.
And as soon as you tell Gary Woodland that, he probably going to miss the next one.
Absolutely. 100%. Or like the guys that have had 54-hole leads but have never won a tournament.
Yeah.
Talk to them. Or someone that's had a 54 lead and never lost after having.
Have you read the book Tales from Q School?
Why did we not say this? That an ultimate guest. I mean, we're both Tiger Woods fans.
It was too obvious for well, if we got him on, we could tell him that all he needs to do is move 3 inches right in his backswing, and then he's fixed.
Ooh.
What do you think?
Tiger's getting thrown.
That's all he needs to do, because that's all golf is, yeah?
Yeah, of course.
Perfect. What a way to end.
You said you didn't want to get that in, and I still got it in there. I feel great about myself.
Right, but remember, he also talked about editing, so he's probably going to get
that. Yeah. How important a focus is, which is which is the anti-first episode that this was.
Oh yeah, so I get it now. I keep taking it in different directions, and it's got to be focused. I'm learning, guys. I'm learning. Oh, you dropped your mic.
Sorry, mic drop. Finished episode.
All right. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Stay tuned because there will be another show popping up next week in your feed. We'll see y'all then.